When you're feeling kind of low, you can always make sure they're there. They will cheer you up, I know. You can always be sure they care. When you're cleaning tack, when you're moving muck, when you're doing all your chores, still you're having fun, you don't seem to mind, 'cause you know you and your horse are friends, they're your friends.
Today is the great day. At last, Ali is going to let us loose on the great outdoors. We're going to leave the safety of the indoor school and head for the great open countryside. With the wind in our nostrils and excitement in our heart, we're heading for our first hack. We're very lucky here at Paddock Farm because we live right next to the Ashdown Forest, which has got acres of very good rides. But not everybody's that lucky. So if you want to know where to ride in your area, then I think you have to contact the BHS. Is that right, Ali?
Yeah, they've got a project which is called Arrow. And basically what they're trying to do is to reopen all the bridle paths around Britain. So eventually we might be able to ride all the way around Great Britain.
God, that would be fantastic,
wouldn't it?
So you can get these from the BHS?
Yeah, and also from your individual county councils.
Oh, right. Oh, and this tells you exactly what sort of ride it is, doesn't it? It shows you where's over the countryside and where you've got road riding as well.
It's taken from an Ordnance Survey map. Shows you where gates are, points of interest it'll show you, and they're all over the country like this.
Right, so what else do we need to know before we can go out on our ride?
If you're riding out, you want to take some money with you.
Why do you think you need to take money with you?
Because you might jump into the pub.
In case you have an accident.
Oh, yeah,
you need a phone. You need a phone. If you have an accident, if you have a bad accident, you need to get to a phone.
Oh, right. Well done, Holly. So you want to take some money with you. Always take a piece of string in case something breaks. And baler twine is very strong. It's the strongest type of string you can get.
Right.
It's very tough. So it would get you home. That's the main thing. A hoof pick. Have a folding one. It's a funny one, isn't it?
Why do you have to have a hoof pick?
Well, in case they get a stone or something stuck in their foot. One thing you should always do before you ride out is tell somebody that, first of all, you're riding out. Tell them where you're going and how long you're going to be.
Having told Ali's mum where we were going, we packed our hoof pick, string and money. And as there are no pubs on this particular part of the forest, a picnic. You need a proper saddlebag or a backpack for your picnic. And do choose your food and method of packing wisely. Otherwise, after a few miles on horseback, and then a quick gallop, and then we'll see what's happened to the picnic. This is what it looks like. Yuck! Not very appetising. Wrong again, Holly. Having successfully packed our bags, time to mount up and be off.
I've got to be behind your mum.
Who's forgotten their lunch?
Do remember when you are out and about to always leave gates as you find them. When crossing the road in a large group, you need 2 outriders to stop the traffic. Always be polite to drivers.
Thank you.
Even when there aren't any. If you ride out regularly, it's worth taking the riding and road safety examination. This teaches you all you need to know about riding on the road. A quick swat of the country code will tell you what you should do when riding in the country, like riding on headlands round fields of grazing animals, not through the middle, causing chaos.
Okay, well, everybody, who's hungry?
Me.
Okay, what we're going to do now, we're all going to hop off. We're going to twist the reins through the throat lash and undo your head collar rope. Run your stirrups up.
Camilla, having drawn the short straw, has to hold the horses.
This will do.
It's a nice spot here, isn't it? Put my sandwiches. While the rest of us, including Paddy and the ponies, enjoy our lunch.
I get the one that's a bit sticky, do I? I think a lunchbox is a good idea. What have you got, Tom? Oh, I've only got one pen left.
Mum!
So after all that exercise and good food, an afternoon nap. Time to try to acquire a little finesse. Here at Wimpole Hall in Cambridgeshire, we went to see some stylish modes of transport. This is a concours d'élégance, where the elegant carriages are paraded and displayed. We came across a flashy, slightly more modern equivalent.
This car has 120 horsepower. A few years back, they had slightly less horsepower, but I think they had a few less problems as well. What do you think?
What do you feed it?
Only petrol and oil.
What's it called?
Triumph Vitesse Mark II convertible.
Don't you have a proper name?
It's called Ezzy.
Where can you buy one?
From a garage or a newspaper.
How often does the farrier come?
About every 30,000 miles, and it wants some new tyres.
Have you ever fallen off?
No,
I have. Do you get a sore bottom?
no, not like a horse. Nice and comfortable.
Hang on, I can feel a link coming on. You get less of a sore bottom if your saddle is properly made. And here they have a resident saddle maker.
Hello, Zoe. Hello, I'm Louise. Nice to meet you. We've all come to see you at work, if we may.
Yeah. I'm at the moment attempting to resuscitate this extremely dilapidated saddle.
How long does it take to make a saddle from start to finish?
If you make one by hand throughout, about 40 hours working time.
How did you train to become a saddle maker?
You could say I almost fell into it because I had a very bad fall off a horse during my
really?
A-levels.
Oh.
And I didn't really know whether I was coming or going for quite a while. And I've always enjoyed doing things with my hands. I worked as a groom for a little while, so I knew that really wasn't for me. So I decided, I thought I'd go to college for a year, because at that time the Cordwainers was doing a one-year Saddlery course. And it gave me the chance to be involved with horses without actually being sort of getting up at 3 in the morning.
Being deaf, did you find it difficult to communicate with people?
I suppose so, because it can be quite isolating being deaf. Particularly if people don't realise. Part of my problem is that in a funny way I speak too well. People
Yes.
come and they don't realise I'm deaf. They say something and they think, I don't answer back and they think, ooh, God, she's ignoring me. And they don't realise that I'm not actually ignoring them.
Yes.
I just haven't heard.
This is a really classy double act. One of the girls is wearing a 17th century costume and the other is dressed in the modern habit.
I'd like to know how the saddle looks.
Underneath the apron. And, well, these are the two heads we were referring to. So the top one is where her top thigh goes on that head there. And this is known as the leaping head, which, when she's riding astride, I should just be able to slip my hand underneath there, which means she's riding nice and long, because the longer the leg, more elegant it is. But when she's jumping, then she would actually slip her leg up on it and use it as a leaping head, which is what it's called. And the whole thing has to be elegant and feminine anyway. And so any little things we can do to improve it, we do.
Here's something totally different. We should have put this in the jumping programme, but we forgot. Ooh, bet that was bracing. We visited an urban riding school where all you non-horse owners can get a weekly horse fix. Do check that the riding school is BHS approved. Most stables will be able to lend you a hard hat for the first few lessons, but make sure you wear sensible shoes. No stilettos. Tom and Emily, trying to get one up on the rest of the group, had booked in for an extra lesson. Sneaky things.
Lovely ride!
The ponies are familiar with the highway code and negotiate the traffic with ease. The Saturday motorists, more tolerant than the weekday commuters, are used to this equine crocodile. Well, some are anyway.
I was talking to your helpers. Now, your helpers are a great band, aren't they?
Yes.
You get a free ride for working how many hours?
It's not so much done on hours, probably in terms of their regularity of
Right.
being here through the holidays. They'll get a ride most days when we can.
So if you wanted to be a helper, you could just give you a call and say, can we come?
Absolutely, we never turn anybody away.
These two girls were lurking nervously at the gate, hoping for a chance to be helpers. I gave them a little nudge in the right direction.
Did you want to ask her? Hiya. Yes, of course we do. We always want help. You're going to help today?
Excuse me. Well, it's all done individually. Excuse me, if you share a horse, how much does it cost and how long will you get to ride?
Oh, well, most sharing arrangements are set up with an individual owner of the horse. For example, a sharing a horse might be about £200 or £300.
That's £300 a month, Bryony, just for board and lodging. And it still isn't your own pony. The new helpers get down to work. I wonder how many hours sweeping she has to do before she gets her free ride. We went to the Wealden Downham Museum in West Sussex in search of our agricultural heritage. There's old breeds of animals, rustic beehives, a grain store on mushrooms to stop the rats getting in, and there's a medieval farmhouse complete with central heating, some very upmarket tableware, a spare bed, and what's this? A medieval porthole?
Looks a round thing to me. Oh, I know what it is. It's a toilet.
No, it isn't a 16th century horse walker. It's a pug mill. And Ali knows exactly what a pug mill is, and she's going to tell us all about it.
You're making bricks, Louise, just like what you are.
The buildings and their machinery have been beautifully restored and, where possible, in full working order, like this flour mill.
Turning that cob, it turns that cob, which goes up there to grind the stuff.
It all grinds the stuff. And where does it come down? It comes down through there?
Yeah.
And this really is a horse walker. It actually powers a chaff cutter inside the stable. This is all these things go round and they go up there, and then that goes round up there, and that goes on there, and then it makes the cutter go. I hope they have better horses than we've got.
They also have a forge at the museum. We watched the blacksmith make a horseshoe.
Years ago, the shoe always had 4 nails on the outside and 3 on the inside.
There it goes, cool down. Fantastic. And this building, like a lot of buildings at the museum, has been taken down from its original location, beam by beam, and moved here. And it's good, isn't it?
Very good.
You can see that this is padded with straw. And then it's got some material put on the outside of it. So it's nice and soft and comfortable for the horse.
Did you know that to get it on the horse's head, you have to turn it upside down? David Bower showed us how, as he tacked up Merlin and Sam, a Shire team who are visiting the museum to give us a ploughing demonstration.
Come on, come on. That's it.
First, find a field to plough. Then, apparently it's very simple.
What happens if the wheels fall off?
Well, if the wheels fall off, you can actually use it without the wheels on. If you were doing this every day, like the old carters used to, day in, day out, they would probably throw the wheels away. This one runs in the furrow, which you'll see in a minute. This one runs on top of the land. That's the reason why this one is actually smaller than that one. The share cuts the bottom, which is this piece. The knife coulter cuts the side. The little plough in front takes the rubbish and buries it in the bottom of the furrow. And this piece is the mould board. Steady, then. Come on, Sam. Sam. These ploughs, I wouldn't say they're scarce, but you can't buy a new one. One day when I said I hadn't got a plough, a gentleman said, well, I've got 2 stood in my barn, He said, if you're going to use it with some horses, you can have it. You're going to put it on the pub forecourt, it stays in my barn. The art of ploughing is a good horse in the farrow. It doesn't matter too much what the other one does. That's why we said the grey one is really the school horse.
Well, Tom found it reasonably easy and ploughed a good, straight furrow.
Steady, Sam. Steady, whoa.
We've seen a number of carriages over the weeks and we wanted to learn how to drive one. So we went to John Parker's stables to find out how. Kevin, an old hand, gave us a demonstration. John Parker, a professional coachman, and his team of helpers are host to the local Driving for the Disabled group. Tessa drives out with Kevin and Kirsty in their specially designed, hydraulically operated carriages.
Yeah, she's got them on.
Right. Stand aside, please, Andrew. Good boy. Trot on. No, walk on. Wow, okay. Trot on. Trot on. Trot, 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 trot.
Kirsty demonstrated how to start off. Our lot followed close behind, with Sharon at the reins. Inspired, Bryony took up the reins and attempted steering round cones.
Right. Off you go, turn in now. That's it. Going to go through that? That's it. Well done. That was an extra one, wasn't it? Go through those ones. Now go off to the right.
Tom, seeing Bryony's effort, took proper instruction first.
You do ride?
Yes.
Right, so when you ride, you usually ride with two reins, one in each hand. When you're driving, you have both reins right and left in your left hand, and that's your straight hand and your stopping hand, okay? And this is your steering hand. If you want to turn right, you pull the right rein and give with the left rein, like you do in riding, don't you? You give to the opposite side. And then if you drop and rotate your hand back, you're going straight again, aren't you? Because you've taken your hand off. And to go left, you pull and duck down to go left. Stand aside, hinds, walk on. Hinds, trot. It's easy to steer, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can suffer from oversteerage, I think. You look to the cones and you'll find yourself driving in that direction. That's it. That's it.
Whoops.
Whoops. We're okay. Okay.
Trot on, heights.
Come. Oops, not too soon. Killed it. Go left. All right.
Now you take your reins in your
Lindsay had a very bad accident when she was small, but despite some weakness, she manages two horses admirably well and wins many prizes for her driving.
Can I come too?
Please.
Oh, this is the way to travel.
How long have you been driving?
I think it's about 4 years.
And do you talk to your horse?
Yes.
Not when you're driving or all the time, or?
Well, you've got to talk to them all the time so that they know that you're there.
Oh, right. Did you ride before you drove?
Yes.
Do you find that helped?
Some ways it did. I got to know the horses more.
Have the horses ever run away with you? Good. Glad about that.
John Parker donned his coat and took us all for a ride on the Royal Mail coach.
Stand aside, walk on.
What sort of speed are they going at, John?
At the moment, about 6.5 miles an hour. When it all started, you know, they had scruffy individuals like me doing the driving. Well, then the post office got very smart in the very early 1800s. And all the drivers were trained by the post office. They all had buttonholes. And they were very proud men, well paid, fined a penny a minute if they were late en route, yeah. See, I haven't got him today, but we'd have a guard on the back with a blunderbuss.
Yep.
He also had 2 pistols and a sword, and it wasn't worth going near him. He was post office and he had the power to kill.
So the mail really did have to get there at all costs?
Yeah, he was Royal Mail, and when it was said Royal, they meant Royal.
Seeing and hearing this lot, I think we should bring back the blunderbuss for the horses' sake. Remember James Sutton, our friendly vet? He was mad enough to let us go out on a call with him to 5 Oak Stud. Jenny Latini is concerned about one of her young horses.
I'm wondering whether she's given herself a little sprain. It's on the near foot.
Certainly got quite a lump there, hasn't she?
You need to have a look and see.
Never out in the
Doesn't
light.
look as if it seems swollen from here.
Go on, Gertie, let's have a look at you. Is she very lame?
Not lame at all.
Let's just see her trot up, shall we?
Where do you want to trot over?
I think down the bottom there, where we usually do. There you are then. Now you watch as she walks up there and see if she walks any different way to usual. Let's try and just trot back to me. We'll give you a bit of an exercise today. Lovely, thank you. I don't think it's any infection.
Do you think it's a concussion?
I think it's a knock, Jennifer. I think she's
That's
probably,
right. That's
probably
what I
knocked it
thought.
with her other foot and that mark there, and she's got a lot of
Is
bruising.
it rolling in the stable or something?
Could well have done.
Oh, strong as a horse.
I'll give her a little bit of anti-inflammatory to help bring that down, and then I would cold hose that and cold poultice it.
We're clipping a 4-year-old for the very first time. She's been absolutely super. And we've got to her head and she doesn't want to know. We want to either give her something just to keep her quiet for 5 minutes while he takes the head off.
Yeah.
I don't want her damaged.
You mean the hair off the head, not the head off the horse, I imagine.
Chop his head off and do it clipping.
Massacre of horses!
I know we're good at stitching, Jennifer, but not that good. Well, let's go and give her her injection.
OK, thanks.
There you are, look at that. You could mend socks with that. More injections. Well, this hopefully will encourage her to stand still to be clipped.
Are all these ponies yours?
Yes, till I sell them.
Do you sell them?
I've only got 1 pony anyway, the rest are horses.
Yes, they're too big for you, Bryony.
What's his name?
Oh, Rusty Starlight.
How much is he?
A lot of pocket money. By the time you were about 15, you could probably afford it. Come along, Bryony. Thank you very much.
He's so sweet.
Yes, I know he is, darling, but you want something very old if you had anything at all, which I think is very darling. Anyway, £1,500, Bryony.
This is Kevin Bacon and his horse called Princess.
But he said she's the smartest horse he said I've ever had in my yard. He said, and I break about 500 horses in a year. And she don't care about the other horses. She cares about me, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a very special relationship you have.
It's pretty nice.
Just as well, as Kevin is always dropping his hat.
Good girl, come on. Good girl. Jump over. Good girl, over. There you go.
You may notice we've changed the music. Guess what next week's program's about? Yee-haw!
Geronimo would ride his horse bareback. All that I ask is how. Sue Apache Crow Cheyenne and that famous man sitting cow. Sheriff Wyatt Earp, Davy Crockett too, both made use of this resource. Butch and Sundance Kid, Outlaw Jesse James, all made sure they and their horse were friends. Come on, everyone. When you're feeling kind of low, you can always be sure they're there. They will cheer you up, I know. You can always be sure they can. When you're cleaning tack, when you're moving up, when you're doing all your chores, still you're having fun, you don't seem to mind, 'cause you know you and your